Hey, Drew, what made you get into coaching?
The coaching,
Yeah.
I knew I was going to start coaching because when I was fighting, I was always helping out the kids in the gym, and I kind of knew I was going to do it. It was already in me, so I kind of knew it was an easy transition for me.
Do you remember your first kid you ever had?
No, because it was a lot of kids in the gym, and I was helping out all the kids. And I was around one, so I was helping out in round one, so we had so many kids, so I can't remember who was the actual first kid, but I just knew I was going to start coaching.
I always wondered that too. How did the name Triple Threat come about?
I had gyms before Triple Threat, but over the years I just looked at things I went through, and I looked at a lot of fighters, and I seen a lot of fighters that might have had just one thing and didn't have a lot of different things in their toolbox. And I told myself, my next gym that I open up, I'm gonna name it Triple Threat, because I want all my fighters to be able to be aggressive, jab, move, counterpunch, lead, not just one-dimensional. I want them to be a triple threat, because I learned over the years as a fighter, if you can only do one thing, it's easy for somebody to take that from you and defeat you. But if you have a lot of tools in your toolbox, they can take this thing. I can do this. You take that from me, I can do that. You have more to work with. So that's why, if you look at all my fighters, they can do everything. Inside, outside, jab, move, counterpunch, be aggressive. So that's why I named my gym Triple Threat. You're gonna have to do a lot to defeat one of them.
You know, Andrew, being a former professional fighter, man, do you take that experience that you had with the business as far as inside and outside the ring, as far as the business side of it, to your next generation with the fighters that you have now?
Yeah.
And how important is that, to have a great team?
I think it's very important for all my fighters. Anything that the manager talk to me about as far as making a fight, money-wise, anything like that, I discuss that with my fighter. I'm an open book with them, because I don't want nothing to happen to me and somebody misguide them the wrong way. I'm not saying they manager team is messed up, but I'm teaching them the game as they in the game, because down the line, when they get old and they decide that they might want to transition over to the coaching part, they will always have that knowledge.
I want to ask you about this question. I spoke with one of the execs in boxing one time. I don't want to say the name, but they said boxing is a sport where the educated meet the uneducated. And I asked him to explain that. He said, well, how many boxers go to college and understand the process of contracts? So it's a sport where you got the educated, those with the promoters and everything, who well schooled in knowledge in the sport of contracts, compared to a boxer, like he said, that doesn't get that type of knowledge. So how we go back to what you said, the importance of having a great team that you trust, especially when it comes to the finances.
Well, I learned that part the hard way. That's why I said earlier that I'm an open book to my fighter, because I had situations where I was on contract and had to get out contracts, and I had to learn that part the hard way. That's why I say I'm an open book to my fighters. I don't want them to go through the same things that I went through as a fighter. You just got to be honest with some fighters. Like I said, I'm open book to them. They ask me something, I'm gonna let them know. When it comes down to the contract and everything, when they speak money for a fight, I said, hold up a minute, let me call Trayvon or Dave or whoever that's pro at the time. Let them hear this, because they need to know this, because they the ones getting in the ring. You got to be an open book to your fighter if you want them to trust you and be able to grow.
I had to ask you about this. You see in other sports, I guess mainly because they have it on the college level, those NIH deals.
NIL.
How come you don't really see like a lot of sponsorships when it comes to the sport of boxing, as far as with companies outside of boxing apparel?
You do have a couple of fighters that have endorsement deals, but you're right, you don't see a lot of that. That's something that hopefully that fighters were able to capitalize on for that later on in life, but right now it's not as, I can't name a lot.
Would you equate that to two things? One, they're not fighting as often with a lot of fighters. You don't see them as much. Then two, are fighters marketable? That's my next question.
Yeah, fighters is remarkable, but the thing is, when you look at a fighter compared to a football player or a basketball player, the platform is different. A basketball player, they got 80-something games, so you see them so many times. A fighter, you might only see them 3 or 4 times a year. So for somebody to give them an advertisement deal, they not being shown enough to get that type of deal that they want, like a basketball or football guy that you can see the commercials that can run over and over and over and over and over again. You're not going to be able to get that with the boxing, so that's why they don't have the same chance of getting them endorsement deals like the basketball player or the football player or the tennis or whatever other sport.
Are you surprised, like, a lot of boxing promoters don't try to build that relationship like with sports teams to get that, get their fighters out there, say like on commercials or them talking about boxing in between sports, like you see before games on the ESPN, with the countdown shows and things of that nature?
They do it a little bit, but if you look at a company like ESPN, they can do stuff like that. ESPN is a big platform that you can throw a commercial on anytime you're going to see it. So it's different compared to maybe, let's say, CBS or something like that, but you might only have some sports on Sundays and something like that. ESPN is a platform that 24/7 sports ran all day long. So they have a better platform for us that if you want to get an advertising deal for a fight compared to, let's say, Fox or Showtime or something like that. So that's a little bit different on that platform.
Big debate going around. The importance of being a world champion compared to pretty much the people's champ. In other words, a pay-per-view star. Would someone rather see the star or the athlete who has the 4 belts? And in today's boxing, it looks like it's starting to be like, man, who's going to pay those pay-per-views and put butts in the seats is what they're looking for. It's not necessarily about who has the belts anymore. Is that good or bad for the sport of boxing, in your opinion?
That's a 50-50 question right there, because when I was coming up, everybody wanted to get the belt. Once you get the belt, it's supposed to bring you notoriety and advertising deals and fame and stuff like that. But because of the way social media is right now, you got guys that don't even have a belt that has a huge media background and a social media following that you don't really have to have the belt to make that type of money no more. If you can see, what's this, Logan Paul don't have no belt. And Jake Paul don't have no belt, but they social media stars, and they're actually making a lot more money than a lot of fighters right now. So that's 2 different worlds, 2 different, I don't know. Me, I'd rather have the belt showing that I was the best. I fought for that belt, and then if it goes into the money part of it, that's supposed to come after that. But the way the world is now, man, you got people like Ryan Garcia, which is a very good fighter. But you have somebody like Tank that brings millions of people through the gate. You meet them together, you got both of both worlds, and then as you're gonna see when this fight comes, the numbers gonna tell how that mixes.
Would you
together.
say this is the gauging fight right here for the execs to see exactly how the future, the immediate future of boxing will be as far as setting up fights? They're gonna gauge this particular fight, in your opinion?
I think this probably be one of the biggest fights in a while. I don't think it's gonna be one of the biggest fights ever, but I think it's going to be one of the biggest fights in a while, only because you have 2 young guys that's bringing 2 different type of lifestyles together. The Hollywood style lifestyle and the rough lifestyle of Tank mashing together, and I just think that's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be a great fight.
What's the atmosphere you think going to be like out there in Vegas for that?
Man, the atmosphere is Vegas. I think it's going to be off the chain. For anybody that haven't been to a fight in Vegas, this is one of the fights that you need to go to. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. But I'm going to watch it.
Unfortunately, I would not be there, but I'm going to watch it. During the birthday that weekend,
Yeah.
Wife said, hell no, you ain't going no damn fight. I agree. So I won't be there also as well. So,
Great.
but I will be getting it on that pay-per-view. I will get the pay-per-view.
That's going to be a great fight. And I'm going with Tank all the way.
But I can't name nobody who's actually going for Ryan. Do you know any professional outside this camp that's going for him?
No, but I think it's gonna be a good. I think it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a dangerous fight for Tank early, but I think as the rounds go on, the way Tank keeps putting pressure on the person, mentally breaking Ryan down. I think he's mentally going to break Ryan down, and I got him stopping around probably like the ninth round or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I say. I think he's gonna take him into that deep water later rounds. He gonna take all that data that he collected earlier. See, a lot of people don't take like getting hit, man.
No, I don't think he like getting hit.
No, I heard him one time say he want to see what your power like. And if he feel like it ain't nothing there,
I think he just saying it because nobody want to see what your power like, because you see what a person power like one time, that shot can put you out. So I think he just be probing. He want to get in, get out, see if you slowing down, see if he can get in there safe without any counters coming back. And once he see that he can get in there and get out, he start his off.
You know, that's why you said that. All right, I want to go back to something you had said in one of your interviews I was listening to one time. Who was one of the hardest punches you had went against?
Robert Allen.
Robert Allen, man.
Robert Allen,
So you said you felt that.
Yeah, he's one of the hardest. He was one of the hardest punchers that I've ever been in the ring with. But unfortunately, as I found out later in life, he was cheating. So it was the reason why he's punching so hard.
Damn! I ain't finished the whole thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what the reason was.
Yeah.
Because I think Bernard fight about so like he stopped, didn't he?
Bernard fought him twice. The first time Bernard fought him, Bernard was smart. Some people say he wasn't smart, but I say he was smart because his leg fell out the ring. He acted like he hurt his leg, so he got 2 checks out of that fight, and then he fought him again the second time and beat him. But the first time Bernard fought Robert Allen, he was in trouble.
Let me ask you something, because everybody be talking about that whole weight stipulation and everything. I seen that with Canelo, with the weight situation. One time he just said, "Forget that, man. I'm coming in there because just thinking about the money that you make, I would just have to pay the fine.
Yeah.
I ain't coming in there weak and drained."
But that mindset is a form of cheating too, and meaning some of them guys don't care. They like, just like you said, they like, well, you gonna find me how much? 300,000? They sit back and say, you know what? Shit, I just come in 3 pounds heavy. Just find me 300,000. They might be making 15 million at a time. They're gonna pay that in taxes anyway, so they don't even care. They just take the fine. And
especially if he's somebody like Ryan who has corporate sponsors.
He not worried
outside
about
the ring. He not worried about it.
He might come in overweight on purpose and take the fine just so he can be a little bit bigger. It's not really a fine when you get free money on the side.
I hear that. Man, what's your thoughts on what we're seeing with boxing right now? It looks like things are moving in the right direction as far as fights getting made right now.
I think boxing is in a great place right now. You have a lot of promoters deciding to work with each other. I even seen, I think that was the president of Zone put something out that he's willing to work with a lot of other promoters. He's open to working with a lot of other promoters. As you can see, Showtime and what's his name? The president of Showtime,
Stephen Espinosa.
They have a schedule out right now. They have a lot of great fights lined up, and they constantly putting the young guys in the mix right now. So on that side, it's a lot of good fights. Also, ESPN has a lot of good fights coming. ESPN has a lot of good fights coming too. I just seen Shakur put a date up. I just seen Keyshawn put a date up.
Yeah, I think they all on the same card. Shakur, Keyshawn, I think, and Big Baby. It might be all on the same card.
They have a lot of good talent over there, so they on fire too. Both sides doing a great thing right now.
Definitely, man. I truly, man. Let me ask you, man. Why do you think Al gets so much heat, man? And a blame for a lot of boxing, man.
He get a lot of heat because he has a lot of fighters that he's like. Al saved a lot of fighters. A lot of fighters that ESPN, once they take one loss over there, they'll let you go. I'll bring them over here and revive their career. And they kind of like, man, but they, like if you look at Pacquiao, who else they had? Mikey Garcia. A lot of them guys came from Top Rank, and Top Rank let them go, but they came over here and became superstars. I'll bring them back to life. You take an L, he'll bring you back and give you another chance. Unfortunately, some of them other companies, when you take an L, they let you go, and you're just not the same no more. So I don't know why he get a lot of slack. He's doing a great job. He has a lot of great young fighters.
How important is he to the sport of boxing, in your opinion, right now?
You mean Al?
Yeah.
He's one of the major players in the sport of boxing right now. That's just my opinion. I just think Al Heyman and I think Top Rank, they just had the best fighters to me. That's what I believe. They had the best fighters. If you look at their roster compared to anybody else's roster, it really ain't no comparison, to be honest. It's either Al Heyman or it's Top Rank, then it's Golden Boy, then it's the Zone. That's the order.
Yeah, speaking on that, do you see any other outside entities? Remember, because you had Trill at one point try to get into the sport. BLK Prime had some hiccups with the sport. Will it just be those four majors, in your opinion, for the immediate future, as what you see in the NFL? How it's a club, man. It's like
it's definitely a club. Them the major four. The major four companies right there. You got other people that, as they come along, that has a lot of money, but you heard that story before. They has a lot of money, jump in the game, say they're going to change the game, but unfortunately, no, it's going to be them four companies. They're not going nowhere. And also the Zone, they got a crazy bag behind them, so they ain't going nowhere. They're not going nowhere because the European scene is on a whole nother level over there. So they money strapped real long. They not going nowhere.
You know, speaking on that, also the Middle East of what they're doing right now. It seems like they're putting on the major fights over there. 'Cause I guess that's where the money is.
That's where the money is, but them fights is once every blue moon. Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's not something that they doing 4 or 5 times a year, like ESPN, like the Zone, like Top Rank, anything like that. That's something that they get together and they say, look, man, let me see, can we talk to a couple of fighters and convince them to come over here to do a big show to entertain them. That's only once in a blue moon. But the ESPN, the PBC, the Zone, and Golden Boy, them are machines that have multiple fighters that's fighting on the regular. Both of them companies, I don't know the number, they might have 50 to 70 fighters each, and they keeping everybody busy. That's different from a company that's convinced you one time to come over here to do one show to entertain us. That's not the same.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Man, I truly appreciate your time. Oh, before I left, I remember was one thing I wanted to ask you about, man. Your program in the afternoons, man. I saw the little 4-year-old, man. He looked like he got some pop, man, already, man. What's your thoughts about the little youngin' right there?
People see a lot of times when they get in a pro game, people start to neglect the kids, right? And they lose their amateur program. You gotta start with the baby. If you don't have kids in your gym, your fighters gonna get old, they're gonna stop, they ain't gonna fight no more, and then you gotta start over. The key to this right here is constantly have kids in your gym, building your program up, keep it going. Once you got kids in there, you know you're gonna be around for a long period of time. But if you don't have no kids, your program is not gonna keep going like that.
Man, Drew, who helps you in this process, man? You trying to handle the pros and all their schedule and the kids.
Actually, people ain't gonna believe this, but actually I be doing it all by myself. Not because I want to do it by myself. It's because sometimes when you get in this business, you start helping people. The people that you start helping, they feel like they you. They feel like they deserve you, but they don't understand you, the person that watered the grass, planted the seed, and now you're watching it grow. But as you grow, the people that you might have which you want to grow, they want to grow faster than you. Like, I don't understand that.
Okay.
Not saying I don't want no help, but it got to be somebody that's willing to work with the kids. You can't just jump the line and just want to work with the pros. It's not going to work like that. You got to start from the bottom. Because I started from the bottom with my kids like David Whitmire, Dede Whitmire, Keith Sanders, Eric Spencer. Them kids had no fights. They all got 50 and 60 fights, so I've been doing this for a while.
You know, I want to go back to something too. It was an old interview I did with Trey, man. I wanted to get your thoughts because, you know, when Trey talked about it, he was like, man, coming from no amateur background out the muds and to where you see him at today, being noticed by Al Heyman and PBC.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, we grind. We've been grinding. It's not something that happened overnight. People don't see the grind. A lot of times, people just see when you get there. They don't see all the years you've been putting that work in. Nobody know we ripping and running up and down the highway, getting spawned in Ohio, Michigan, Detroit. Nobody sees that part. They only see the finished product. Going to tournaments 4 times a year, getting 1 or 2 rooms with 15 kids, bunking up, traveling. Like, people never see that part. They only see when you're on TV, they see the grind, and that's where they want to be at. But nah, you got to start from the bottom to get to that point.
Well, that's what's up, man. I see that's what Trey doing, man, and he doing it the right way.
Appreciate that.
And, man, you keep doing what you're doing, Andrew, man. Everybody going to know Triple Threat Gym real soon, man.
Yes, sir.
There you have it, On the Ropes, Andrew Council. We out.